I was talking to my, I went over to visit my friend, and she got her kids back out of custody. Right? I'm like, congratulations. I'm like, let's see how long you can keep these. But anyway, I went over to see her to see how things were going, and the state gave her an apartment, and she doesn't have to pay for housing. That must be nice, right? Just because she had a couple of kids, right? And then anyway, the kid goes up to me, and she's like, Bridget, it's so great to see you. And she like comes running out, and she's like, what kind of presents did you bring me? And I like hand her a ball, because I happen to have a ball in my car. And she's like, my mom said that you're rich and you can buy me whatever I want. Can we go get one of those drivable cars? And I'm like, dude, I haven't seen you in over a year, and all you want from me is a gift. And I just walked out of the house. I don't know. But before I could walk out of the, I don't know. Justin doesn't get it, it's okay. And this, before I could walk out of the house, the kid was like, this was what the deal breaker was on that. I'm like, okay, let's go get you that car, even though I don't make a lot of money. And then she was just like, oh. She's like, can I look at your hair? And I'm like, why do you want to look at my hair, Tiffany? And she's like, because my mom told me that you have rats in your hair. And I was like, Tiffany, what do you mean by rats? And she's like, well, my mom said that you have live rats in your hair. And I leaned over, and I showed the kid my hair, and I said, I only have a couple rats. And then the kid went screaming. And then I left. And now the kid won't talk to me on the phone anymore. But I also don't have to buy the kid a car. So it's going to save me a lot of money in the long run. All right. The other day I was on vacation, and I was out snowboarding, because there's nothing more that I enjoy life than going down a mountain on a snowboard. You can tell by looking at me, right? Yeah. And when I get done, I'm like drinking a beer in the lounge, and this gentleman comes up to me, and I think he's from Poland or someplace, and he's like, all like, hey, we're trying to carry on a conversation. Do anybody else in their day-to-day lives have trouble with like second languages? You know, just like, no one else? Okay, it's only me? Okay, I got it. That's all right. Maybe it's because I'm a factory worker and stuff like that. But anyway, this gentleman, he comes up to me, and I'm trying to carry on a conversation, and finally at one point he's like, go USA, go USA, go USA. And I'm like, huh? And he like proceeds to zip down his pants. And then he's like, he points to the band on his underwear, and it says USA on it. All right. I'm just gonna do language barriers tonight. Another language barrier problem I had the other day was I work in retail. People think I'm like, speak Spanish. I don't speak Spanish. I don't speak a lick of it. But oftentimes people come up to me and ask me to translate. The other day, this gentleman wanted me to go get his chocolate that he had left at customer care. And then I went and got it for him. And then when he was trying to walk out the door, he got arrested. And then the cops came over. And then I had to explain to him that he had paid for the chocolate. But I don't know, those were some expensive chocolate bars. But no, don't worry, you didn't go to jail. I don't know. But I almost ate his chocolate because it looked good, but and he wouldn't be able to tell anyone, but all right. I know those are going to be funny jokes. Like, I just know it. Like, I'm not quite sure how they'll be funny, but I know they'll be funny. I like her face. She's just like, her head's just like buried in the camera. She's like, no. They're not funny. They're not funny. All right. Okay, so I'm always telling stories about fights, and I think I'll end it on this. I have this friend, and he's like, no one will fuck you. And I was like, I don't think that's really the case. And I'm like, let's just see. So I got all like prettied up at the bar the other night, and I was like, let's try this. Why not? Don't worry, I'm gonna keep this PG. And anyway, this guy comes up to me. He's one of those jerks from like the Silicon Valley, And he's like, hey, my name is Brian, and I'm from the Silicon Valley, and I'm in IT. And he's like, okay. And he's like, I'm going to buy you a drink. And I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, and he's like, and then he wanders off. And so then I buy a round of drinks for the bar on his card. Because you can tell that he's blackout drunk, and he's not even going to know, right? And as doing stand-up for years, like, I know that this guy can pay for a round, so. And he was lying to me, like, you could just tell that he was a liar, so why not? And then this other guy came up to me, and he was nice, and he wasn't lying, and his friend was a sheik. His friend was a white sheik. Now, you guys see the contradiction in that? Maybe you don't. I don't know, you can look it up. So this white sheik and I were talking with his other friend, and then the guy from California came up to him, and he's like, what are you, a white sheik? They don't have such thing as a white sheik. Clearly racist, right? Clearly racist. And all of a sudden, like, this big fight just broke out in the bar. I didn't get laid, but the bar got a free round of drinks. So I'm going to end it on that. Good night.